Hello, I'm the Brit.
I'm the wife, and we're talking again about our Polglish life.
Polglish Life, which this week, I don't know.
It's a killer.
It's a killer. I'm a little bit flued up this week, and we were talking about yesterday, weren't we?
It's got men's flu, no temperature.
No sympathy.
No symptoms of something seriously going wrong.
All winter, -23, shorts and a t-shirt, out in the snow, digging it around, not a spot of illness. Now the sun's out, it's warmed up, I get sick. What can you do?
You just have to get on with it.
You just have to suck it in and get on with it. That is kind of the Polish way, isn't it? Get
or
on with it.
You can do the Lee Taylor's way and just sleep it off.
Yeah. But before I sleep it off, we want to talk about shopping. Our shopping experience in Poland, what it was like when we first came here to what it's like now. I'd say it's a different experience, wouldn't you?
You think so?
I think so. I think when we first come here, they put pressure on us in shops that, you got to get it now. This is the deal. We only have this sale once a year. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You got to take it, and we get excited and we're like, okay, right, we'll buy it, and we buy things. And then after being here for a little while, we realise actually what keeps, I think, the Polish economy going is deals.
Yeah,
Polish people love a deal. And if you're a shop owner, if you've got a shop and you're not giving deals, Polish people don't shop there.
No, we made a post not so long ago about Tesco, why Tesco didn't survive in Poland. And there's like hundreds and hundreds of comments flying in and out kind of thing. And a lot of people said that one of the reasons they didn't survive was the lack of deals. The other supermarkets, they could see ahead what the customer wants. They had a better quality of food, and they had deals.
Yeah, they knew their customer. They knew their customer base, and they knew how to keep that customer happy. And when we first come here, we just generally believed the deal was the deal, and we needed to grasp it, or we'd lose it.
There was that fear of missing out.
Yeah, and what we've noticed as well in Poland as well, you got to shop around a bit, because you can get one, I don't know, item of whatever food, let's say, in one supermarket for, a fair bit of money, which you think is, a reasonable price, but you can go to another supermarket, it'd be half the price.
Yeah.
They have different deals at different times, so I don't think the loyalty here is so much. When I was in England and I used to do my shopping, I'd always go to Tesco's because I felt loyal, I felt part of it, I had the club card, I was a part of that brand, I bought into it. And I think English people do, maybe they buy into a brand. Here, I don't see that loyalty. It's the price, isn't it? It's literally price driven. And where can you get the most for your money? And if someone has got a better deal, that crowd is going over there. And I've noticed it as well. The old Congo drums beat. When there's a deal on, the phone rings. Quick, you got to get here.
The battery is 99 groszy today, only for today.
And then they're phoning around everybody. They're jumping in the car. They're shooting down to the supermarket to load up on a deal when they come back. And they're so happy about that. I've never really understood that because I've never really been bothered about things like that. But
no, that's why I don't send you to the shops, because you never take advantage of the deal. And I always do. I mean, when we came to Poland, we were doing our first project and we knew nothing about the deals. We knew nobody in town. We didn't have a clue what it was like. And I'll give you an example. We went to the shop with the guy who was developing our property. Yep, we need flooring. Yep, we need that. We got the cheap crap at a really high price because we did not know about the deals. Then we got to know people. Then we got to know the whole cycle of good prices, grab the occasion quickly. And we bought a lot better things at a lot lower price.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. We were quoted 50,000 zlotys to have our kitchen made to measure. That was without the worktops, without anything. Had a nice project done and stuff. And we went to shop around for the kitchen for the flat in Gdańsk. Turns out that you have to wait up to 3 months for anything to be delivered, so we kind of messed up in them. But then there's an ex-display kitchen. There's one that was reduced from 39,000 to 9,000, And then there was another one that was reduced from 49,000 to 13,500. And at the till, I just made a stupid joke. Is there any wiggle room on the price? And the lady said, yeah, of course, we're going to email the director, blah, 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 blah. So cutting the story short, we managed to get the little kitchen for Gdańsk for 7,500 zlotych from 39,000. And we managed to buy the kitchen for our house, reduced from 49,000 to 10,000 zlotych. For 17,500 zlotych, we've got 2 kitchens.
So don't be scared to ask for a deal here.
No,
you know.
if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Yeah, precisely. But the economy is run on deals. They're up for negotiating, you know. And there are certain places you go to and they've got a sale on, and you'll ask, and they're like, no, that is the bottom. And you can tell the genuine that they will let you walk away. But there's a lot of wiggle room and a lot of things here because they recognise that Polish people like to get good value for money. And if you're there and you're saying, yep, we're ready to buy, we can buy today, we'll take 2 of these instead of 1, but this is the price, quite often or not, they will reduce the price. So when we first come here, it was a different kind of experience. We thought we had to get in really, really quickly, otherwise we was going to lose it. Now we're here, it's like, okay, you know, we need to play the game a little bit here. We need to look around, we need to shop around, because lots of shops have very different pricing strategies. Same product can be massively different in price. There can be a massive difference in price. And if you don't ask, as Aga says, the answer is always no. So I find the shopkeepers here are a lot more open to negotiate than they are in England. In England, you generally, that's the price. If there's a sale, it's a sale. You're not getting it any cheaper. Here, they want to do deals. And I think people do shop in store a lot more here than online.
I think so. And you know what, it's nice to be in the shop, to be with people, to have that little bit of a talk and a little bit of a laugh with some of them, and to see what you're actually buying. I don't like the clothes shopping in Poland. I think it's awful. I'm still converting the money into pounds, and it just feels weird. Everything seems to be so expensive. In our town, there's hardly any shops that have decent clothes.
The quality is not as good and it is expensive. So don't come here thinking you're going to have an amazingly cheap standard of living. There are some really expensive things here, but you will find, I think, I mean, in England, all of our shopping predominantly was online, wasn't it? You know, it was. We had Amazon deliveries all the time. We had he was on first name terms with the next delivery guy. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Liam, yeah.
But we would often go to Ipswich. We would often go to other places, Braintree, Vista Village.
We would still go out, but predominantly everything we bought was online. We rarely bought things in shops. Unless we designed an actual shopping experience to Braintree or
Every time we had a ding dong, I would go shopping.
Yeah, well, we didn't have as many ding dongs in England as we do here. But here, we don't tend to look online. I don't. Well, maybe it's a language thing. I don't know. But you know, you can translate the websites to English, so that's not an excuse. But I think we do. We certainly buy more in shops here than we did in England.
Yeah.
You know,
and then we've got a lot more going on. We've got all them properties, we've got the houses, we've got this, we've got that. So you don't need to buy things. I think in England we were pretty comfortable. A few new clothes, something nice. The house was done tip to toe. There was nothing that we had to change, or we never had that desire to change things around the house. We got a nice set of plates when we got together, and that kept us going. Nice plates of cutlery, the cooking pans and stuff, and that was it.
So I suppose when you're coming here and you're setting up a new life, there will be lots of things you want to go out and experience and shop for and buy. And hopefully you will go into the shops and you will support them, because, you know, these shops do need people going in spending money. You know, in England, I think online took away a lot from shopping centres. You know, you say, well, you know, we was talking about us shopping online, but you see how many shops was closing in England because people were shopping online. Here, I think I haven't seen many shops not empty. Not empty, is that the wrong word? Empty, I should say. Most of them are occupied, certainly in town and places we've been to, and there's people out shopping. And that's nice, isn't it?
It's nice. I think there's a lot of new businesses coming along as well. Young people, they get their own space and they try new things.
Do you think the Sunday shopping here isn't a thing? The shops all close on a Sunday.
Shut it.
They shut it?
Like that, they decided to close all the shops
Yeah.
a while ago. There's only, I think, 3 Sundays in a year that the shops are open.
Do you think that pushes people more into the shops on a Saturday because they don't have the extra time to shop, maybe?
I don't know, actually. That's a really good question. Maybe whoever is watching it can let us know, because
maybe.
I don't know. Like, I quite like the fact that Sunday you don't go shopping. You've got this time to chill out, to do something with your family and stuff. And it's also nice for people who work 6 days a week in the shops, that they get to have a break as well. They don't need to be working every weekend.
Maybe that's why they're a little bit more helpful, maybe, in the shops. I don't know. It's interesting because it is a different experience than England. England, you can shop anytime. You can go out Sundays, not a problem. Online is really easy. Amazon is so convenient. You can literally click and it's delivered the next day or sometimes the same day. It's incredible. But here, I think it's a little bit slower. I know we've got Allegro here, but we don't use it much, do we? Amazon, we rarely use here. I mean, our Amazon account, they probably wonder what's happened. Because in England, it was every other day there was something being delivered. Here, very little. We are going out into the shops and we're experiencing that. And I think you will as well. And I think hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoy getting into the shop and seeing things and talking to people and trying to negotiate and getting the price down and looking for the deals, because they are there, aren't they?
But if you were brutally honest, what is your shopping experience in Poland? How would you?
I don't know, really. Probably a little disappointing, especially when we go to the shopping centres. I love looking around sort of the big jewellery stores, at the watches and stuff like that. I've only found one Rolex kind of shop where high-end watches in Gdansk. Other than that, there's been nothing. The outlets here are they're nowhere near the same league as they are in the UK. I think shopping when you don't understand the language is a challenge as well. So there's that to go in. But when I've seen some of the savings we've made on those kitchens, it's phenomenal. It's just, wow, you can do that here. We would never have got that in England.
Getting it delivered is a challenge now.
Yeah. But it will come through. And I kind of enjoy it, and I kind of don't. I found clothes shopping is... The quality of the clothes here isn't quite as good as the UK. In the UK, there was always a lot better clothes to choose from. So there's differences, but I like the fact that we do go out and we mooch around and we look at things, and people come over and they ask you and they try to help you. And I do like the fact you can say to people, is there any wiggle room? And in the right sort of shops, that they will let you know.
I think, I don't know if that's the thing, again, maybe you could let us know, that the shop assistants, shopkeepers, they allowed to give you a 10% discount on every item you buy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like that's their
limit, is
their
it?
limit. For more, they have to double check, because when you got me the necklace for Christmas and I said to my mum, "Oh, we got 5%."
She said, "Oh, you could have got 10%."
Like, "You silly one."
you find that with Polish people as well. If you say I've got 5% off, they'll say, "Oh, you could have got 10%."
Yeah.
You say I've got 10% off, "Oh, you should have got 15% off." They love to kind of outdo each other and tell you that it's not quite as good as what they got. There's a bit of competition here with things like that. The status thing is very, very prominent with people. If you've got something, they want to get something a little bit better. But that's okay. It's not how we live our lives.
We don't compete with anybody. No. I had a conversation recently, like with the house. They come from England. They should do this. They should do that. The house should stand out. And we really don't give a...
I couldn't care less. As long as I'm happy, as long as you're happy, the kids are happy. It's
comfortable, nice.
We don't need to sort of dress to impress or kind of have our house done up to a standard where everybody's like, wow, you've done so well, but you've got
I can
yourself
see
in
that you
debt
come from
to
England.
do it. Yeah, precisely. You know, you live within your means, and that's what we try to do, and that's the life we're carving out. So if you are coming, don't just rush into the shops and buy the first thing. Shop around, you know, have a look around, because you will find you'll see the same item a lot cheaper in other shops, and don't be scared to ask for discounts, because you will get discounts here. You know, they're very up for negotiating.
You don't ask, the answer is always no.
But also, don't come here thinking everything's going to be super cheap. In actual fact, come here thinking you probably need more money than you think, you know, and set your goal a little bit higher. Because if you set your goal a little bit higher and you earn more money than you think, you'll have a very good life here.
Cleaning products are a lot more expensive in here. A lot more. I think it's a lot cheaper to clean the house in England than here.
Perfumes are massively expensive here, aren't they? I mean,
I used to go to Savers. Well, I used to go to Savers to buy lots of cleaning products, and the ladies will always manage to sell me a bottle of perfumes that was on a special deal. And Samantha, yeah, they were just lovely. And I got a bottle of perfume for £25, the same one, the same size, the same brand, and here was 695 zlotych. So that is nearly 100 and
that's a big difference. Same perfume,
£20.
no difference in size, same brand, 25 quid in the UK, 100 or something pounds in Poland. There's got to be something to do with the import-export duty,
no
I guess,
idea.
To why it's so expensive. But you know, there are some differences. And the other thing is, when you do shop, everything seems so expensive here from the UK because it's all in Zloty, and you kind of look at it and it's like, wow, that seems really, really dear. But that's not a bad thing, because it curbs your spending a little bit. You're reluctant just to chuck out money just to buy something on a whim. You're thinking about things a lot more. So, you know, it's a different shopping experience. It's not all better, but there are some deals out there, so don't just rush in to the first thing you find.
Take your time.
Take your time.
Do your homework.
Do your
Get the
homework.
deal.
Get the deal, and have a great life in Poland.
Yes.